What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Tony Bellew, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. Get this, Eddie Hearn reacts to Tony Bellew saying that Joshua Wilder talks have stopped. The matchup between the two big hitters would be huge. Both Joshua and Wilder have been world champions, and both have suffered tough back-to-back defeats to their current title holders, Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury, respectfully. Despite all the positive moves to make the fight happen in Saudi Arabia, Tony Bellew recently revealed rumors that it was now Tyson Fury, AJ's team, were talking to, and that the Wilder negotiations have stopped. Wow. And he said, quote, "If you read Twitter, it's AJ Wilder, might not happen. It might be AJ Fury. Fury might fight Usyk, or Usyk might fight Hrgovic. To be honest, any of those things are possible. That's the reality of the situation." And the promoter then stated that his main intention is to still arrange the fight with Wilder, and said that there were not really any conversation with Fury's team. He said, "Our fight with Wilder hasn't changed in the last 3 or 4 days since we sat down. Are there conversations about Fury AJ? Not really. Would Saudi be interested? Yeah, I think so. From my position, we want to try and nail the Wilder fight. The Wilder fight is the only one we've been talking about for a few months now, and we want to try and progress it." Okay. He then revealed that Joshua is keen to fight again, hopefully, against Wilder, but that's not nailed on. He said AJ wants to fight. He's really enjoying the activity. If he can't fight in January, I think you'll see him in December, but still our intention is to close the Wilder deal. And let me counterpunch. Based on what I just read, the last portion, that's why Tony Bellew is saying what he's saying. Because, see, what's happening is there's too much talking when negotiations are supposed to be quiet, silent, and simple. Quiet, silent, and simple. Okay? Those should happen, and it's not. And what we're hearing is too much of anything else. See, at first, when Wilder knocked out Alenius, he was waiting, and then, of course, he wanted to fight Ngannou. That fell through. Andy Ruiz, that fell through, right? Ultimately. Now, Joshua fought Franklin. Then he fought, we're going to fight Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte had some weird stuff with his stuff. Now he fought Robert Helenius. After the Helenius fight, it was supposed to have been clear for AJ to go into negotiations with Deontay Wilder. All we have to do is worry about the stuff that Anthony Joshua pays other people to do, right? So now, though, we heard from the person that's supposed to be in charge of making things happen the way they're supposed to, Eddie Hearn, a couple days ago, saying that, hey, the fight's not done. We may fight again in December, right? And then, you know, when you're looking at, like, December and all that, you're thinking, like, okay, well, why is he fighting someone else when he just had 2 fights this year? Okay, so why isn't he doing what Wilder's doing, preparing to fight each other? You know what I mean? Because when you mention other things, okay, that gives you a sense of doubt. We're going to weigh our options. That's a sense of doubt. We may fight again if the fight gets pushed back. Why would it get pushed back? Again, that's a sense of doubt. Okay, so we're looking at these factors as they come. And as these stories come to us, we're revealing that, like, well, hey, how close are these fights is to getting made? You know what I mean? What's holding up? So when you hear Tony Bellew say, well, hey, those negotiations have quit. Well, he might not be at the front row knowing everything that goes blow by blow and play for play. But what he's revealing is it's not going like we think it should. Okay, so like he said, if you read Twitter, it's AJ Wilder might not happen. It might be AJ Fury. Now, I don't know where he got that from. But Eddie Hearn has said that he's going to push for the Hrgovic-Usyk fight. So more than likely it won't be Usyk fighting Tyson. You know what I mean? But then this is what he did say. He said, Are there conversations about Fury AJ? He said, not really. He said, would Saudi Arabia be interested? Yeah, I think so. See, when you say stuff like that, you're still leaving it and speaking these things and putting them out there as though it could happen. You see what I mean? Instead of him saying this, instead of him saying, well, is there conversations about Fury AJ? Not really. Would Saudi be interested? Yeah, I think so. Well, instead of saying that, Eddie, how about saying this? Well, we're not interested in a Tyson Fury fight, so we're not going to even entertain that idea. We are focused on AJ Wilder. You see how that goes? That's how you nip things in the bud. That's how you ensure the other party that you're not too busy and putting too much energy into looking for another fight instead of looking for the negotiation. Listen, negotiations is a partnership. It's a relationship. It's a merger. Okay, it's a merger. And what people need to understand is if Reebok and Nike were in negotiations, heavy negotiations of merging, and then Reebok hears that Nike is also talking to Adidas, that's going to make them kind of back off, kind of crawfish their way on out of there, right? Because, it's not going to make them very optimistic since Nike is talking to Adidas when they should only be talking to Reebok. Okay, so in this situation, when Team Wilder hears, like, well, wait a minute, what's this shit about AJ Fury? I thought we were supposed to be working on a deal. I don't want to be wasting my time with my lawyers, with my underwriters, and my team to do or to help something, and Eddie turns around and tries to get a fight with Tyson Fury, and we know how wishy-washy he is about certain things. He may fight Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou might be an absolute hit, and he may say, you know what, I'm going to be like my little brother Tommy and never fight boxers again. He may do that, and he may go that route, and Mauricio Sulaiman still talking about he's the victim, right? So that may happen. So we don't really know what will take place. But I'll tell you this, as long as you're talking about other possibilities, as long as you're rumoring and mentioning those things, people are not going to be as faithful in this fight taking place. So that wasn't really a good job for Eddie Hearn, debunking Tony Bellew, because he was like, well, I don't really think there's any negotiations or talks with Tyson Fury, but hey, Saudi may be interested. You see what I'm saying? That's not debunking it. A promoter that's focused on a fight for his fighter will say, no, that's nonsense, Tony, shut up. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. I know they're good friends and all, but then, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's not involved in these negotiations. Whatever he heard was absolute K-A or C-A-P, cap, right? So I think at the end of the day, people, that's what Eddie should have done to ensure what Tony Bellew said was absolute cap. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Tony Bellew stating that the negotiation talks between Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder have stopped. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!